All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. So I know it's been a little while since we've done a video. It's probably been a little over a week now. I've just been kind of on a little hiatus. It's mainly just I'm running out of space in here to put new open cars. All the AutoWorld stuff that we opened recently is still in the parking garage. The Hot Wheels premiums, all the drag strip demons are literally just sitting over there to the left on the desk. They're on that other parking garage I have actually. But I missed you guys, so we're gonna do another video, and I'll just figure out something to do with the cars for the time being. I'm looking into getting a very large shelf, similar to that rotating display stand that you guys may have seen if you've been on the channel for a while, but. Anywho, for today's video, I've got a lot of really cool stuff to check out. Obviously, we are going to be continuing on with the AutoWorld series, where I've got tons and tons and tons of different AutoWorld cars just to check out and look at. Lots of fun stuff. Mostly new stuff from those guys. We actually had a late arrival to the party, so I know if you've been watching and following with the AutoWorld series, you'll know that this is a new one to the to my collection. This actually just came in the mail a few days ago. This is an 83 Chevy Silverado step side with the lowered stance. This is 2023 release number 1. So this is, I believe, my first one from 2023. Everything we've looked at in the last 2 AutoWorld videos is from 2022 and older. So, very excited that that has finally arrived. We will be opening that up and checking that out. Couple other cool things that I have found that I probably may not open. So actually, let's take a minute, because there's some Hot Wheels premium stuff that I really want to show you guys. Starting off here, I did find the entire recently released Fast and Furious series, where they have this Nissan Skyline. So it's supposed to be like Paul Walker's, or what's his name? Brian O'Connor. Brian O'Connor's. I think Hot Wheels screwed up on this one. I've been reading here and there. People are saying, oh, Hot Wheels messed up. This is an R34, a Nissan Skyline, but the paint job that is on this car was the paint job that was on the Toyota, not the Nissan, but a Toyota from the first movie. So I think Hot Wheels might have made a little miscalculation with the paint job there, because if you go on Google, spend 5 seconds on Google, every picture of this paint job is the Toyota Supra, not the Nissan Skyline. The Nissan Skyline was silver, and it had a kind of a blue stripe, and that was from the second movie. This paint job is from the Supra in the first movie. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Kind of weird, but I thought it was cool, and I actually found the entire release. So there's a Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. I just grabbed it because it's, number 4 out of 5, and I wanted to have all 5 of them. Mazda RX-7, an FD RX-7. This is the last generation of the RX-7. Again, it's a Mazda. Not, super crazy about it, but it's cool. I do like JDM stuff. It's just not what I collect. This was pretty cool. I should have grabbed 2 of these, because actually this is a pretty neat one. I would like to open one of these and put it with the collection, but I think I'm going to leave this set of 5 cars here in the box. So that is a Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Really cool casting. It's got all the details you need and everything. That's a neat one. And then this last one, I'm a little on the fence about. It's cool, but it's cheesy. But it's cool, but it's cheesy. It's a 67 Chevy Camaro Z28 off-road. So it's got big giant tires and chopped up fenders and all kinds of goofy stuff going on. It's got a push bar on the front. I don't know. It's kind of silly, but it's cool. But yeah, and like I said, this series of 5 is probably just going to go up on the wall as like a decorative thing, just because I thought it was a cool series. And I found all 5 of them at once, so I was like, screw it, I'll grab all 5. Speaking of sets of 5, we're going to go up to the wall real quick. Bit of a different camera angle for you guys. So as we go up and up and up, we get to, those are my Star Wars vans. This most recent release from Hot Wheels Premium, the Pop Culture series, These are Mandalorian themed Hot Wheels cars. It's gotta be like a series specifically designed for me. I swear it was. They gave us a 66 Dodge A100, one of my favorite Dodges. It's got Luke Skywalker on it. A 64 GMC panel van with the Mandalorian Din Djarin himself on there with his jetpack. A 1970 Chevy Chevelle delivery. So it's a Chevy Chevelle, but it's kind of got a, it's like an El Camino with a built-in bed cap. Very cool. That one's got Boba Fett on it from the later seasons. And then if we go up one more row, there's, what's his name? Moff Gideon on the 71 Chevy El Camino. And then a 59 Chevy delivery van with the Mandalorian and little Baby Yoda or Grogu on there. So, very recent release from Hot Wheels, and two of my favorite things, Mandalorian, Star Wars, Chevys and Dodges. Absolutely 10 out of 10 for that series from Hot Wheels. I absolutely love them. Had to have that immediately. And since we're up here, we'll take another look at the autographed Dale Earnhardt trading card with the with his car in there and everything. Again, my the centerpiece of my collection. And that is a perfect way to segue into some stuff over here by the door. So I have Ross Chastain's car and Kyle Larson's car, two of my favorite drivers in the current NASCAR series. Although there's been some, if you follow NASCAR, there's been some happenings between these two. There's been some beef, there's been some disagreements, but they are my two favorite drivers in the series right now, so I grabbed each of their cars. As well as, and those are NASCAR Authentics brand. They're a division of Lionel. As we can see here, I just grabbed another one. This one I had to track down on eBay. This is Dale Jr., so I think this is 2020, so I think he'd already retired by then. I'll get that glare off of there. But it's not an actual car that he raced. It's just Dale Jr. Download Podcast themed stock car, which I thought was just super duper cool. Here, let's see if we can get it more. There you go. There's a bit of a better view of it. Yeah, just a super cool car. It just says Dirty Mo Media and Dale Jr. Download. No number, no sponsor really or anything. It's just a Dale Jr. podcast themed stock car. So I found that on eBay. I thought that was pretty cool. I think I found that on Amazon actually. I forget. And then this guy, our favorite, the legend himself, Dale Earnhardt Sr. I did just pick this up at a yard sale last weekend. So this is another Winner's Circle, similar to the one that's up there. That is also a Winner's Circle series, but I think these are from a different year. I think this is maybe a later season, earlier season, 2000 season. Another one that's going to stay in the box. I do have a Dale car already out of the box. There's my other two Dale Jr. cars. So this guy, just another one that's going to be up on the wall. I just wanted it because the package was in a pretty decent shape, and you know, it's Dale. How can you say no to Dale? All right, last thing on the wall I want to show you guys. I'm not sure if I showed this already. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I recently was at a diecast convention, and I picked up this Chevy K1500 from the early 90s. However, this one we see here, it's got some miles on it, as you can see by the wear on the base, you know, chips, a bit of bowing in the base actually. I have had this truck probably since I was maybe 2 or 3 years old. I got that when I was very, very little. And it survived well. The paint job on it survived well. And as I got older, I actually put it to the side because I always remember, like, man, that was always one of my favorites when I was a little kid. I should hang on to that. And thank goodness I did, because it survived well. And then I was able to find one brand new, still in the box, at the diecast convention. So I have mine from my childhood there, and a sparkling, shining, brand new one. By far one of my favorite trucks from when I was a kid. And probably the reason that's one of my favorite Chevy truck body styles, honestly. I can't wait till we start seeing this body style Chevy pickup truck from AutoWorld and those guys. I'm still looking for the M2 releases of these, but they are quite hard to come by. I know M2 just did a 90s model Chevy pickup truck release, and everybody went almost cursing there. Everybody went crazy for them. Yeah, sorry. Try to keep my potty mouth out of the videos. And there's my Camaro, still in the box. I grabbed a second one of these. I do have one right over here. That is the same car, just opened. So I grabbed another one for the wall there. And that's our update on the wall there. Oh, I do have this promo edition Johnny Lightning up here that I found also at the, I believe that was at a diecast convention. So that's pretty cool. No peg on there. So that was a mail-in type thing. You could only get them through the mail. You would never find that on a peg. So they didn't cut a little cutout into the box to hang on a peg. And the stock car legends. As I said, I do have space right here, but this is reserved for the last, 10 Johnny Lightning stock car legends. So let's get back to the desk, and let's start opening up some cars. All right, so here is our 1983 Silverado with the slammed step-side combination there. Very exciting stuff. We've got a USA license plate on the front there. All black engine in there, not really, I mean the engine's detailed for sure, but it's all black, so not a whole lot of detail there. But being that this is a Silverado, probably a 350 under the hood, if I had to guess. You know, the lower trim levels would probably come with the 305. So, and of course, we do have our tailgate down. As always with AutoWorld, we have the functional tailgates. Take a look in the bed there. That's a bit of a new sight from AutoWorld. Usually our beds look a little something like that, but that is some absolutely beautiful detail in there with the wood planks in the bed. Sorry, I'm trying not to knock stuff over on my shelf. That looks really, really good. I don't believe I've seen that from AutoWorld yet with the wood detail in there. That looks awesome. Very nice wheels on here too. I love the Steelies with the little Chevy center caps in there. Very, very nice looking. Or I guess you'd call them, they were more like hubcaps. They're like those big dish center cap, hubcap type deals. If you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. Anywho, let's take a look at our card here. So we've got premium facts. It says, this is the first time AutoWorld has released the square body casting as a step side. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to focus on the letters here. Please. There we go. All right. This is the first time AutoWorld has released the square body casting as a step side combined with a lowered chassis. To my knowledge, that is true. I don't think they've done a lowered step side yet. I think that's new. Introduced in 1975, the Silverado name was still the top trim package of the 1983 Chevy CK pickup. That is true. That ran all the way up to 1992. 92 or 93. They were the CK series, and the Silverado was the highest trim level. I believe 93 or 94, it became the Silverado 1500, and your trim levels were LT and LS, and then there was the Z71 off-road package and yada, yada, yada. But actually, the pickup truck up on the wall, the yellow and black one that I showed you from when I was a kid, that body style saw the introduction of the Silverado name, model name. There we go. Sorry. Whereas before that, it would just be a CK15 or a C1500 or a K1500, and then your trim levels were, I believe, in the late 80s, early 90s, they were Silverado, Cheyenne, and Scottsdale. I believe there was a Scottsdale in the early 90s. As far as the 80s go, I believe it was the same. Although, if I'm not mistaken, there was like an Apache in there as well. But the Silverado, Cheyenne, and Scottsdale were your trim levels for your 1500s. Very good looking truck. Cab and bed alignment's a little bit off on this one, but, you know, oh well. I guess it's not too bad, but you can see the space at the top of the bed versus the space at the bottom of the bed is a little different there, so oh well. Either way, very cool truck now that we've been talking about it for 10 minutes. Let's move on to the rest of the AutoWorld stuff. So if you've been watching my more recent videos, you'll know what to expect. This is the second half of all my stuff. This is 2022 Release 3. So we've got 2 Ford GTs. I'm going to run through these. We've got 2 75 Cadillac Coupe Devilles, green and red. I'm going to open all of these kind of at the same time, and we'll just compare versions A and B together. We've got the 2012 Ford Mustang GT California Special. That's what CS stands for. Everybody thinks it stands for Carroll Shelby. It does not. It stands for California Special. Next, we've got the 64... Ooh, I'm knocking stuff over. 64 Pontiac Grand Prix Royal Bobcat in a nice gold and red. Excuse me, my throat's so dry. Allergy season and whatnot. And then lastly, we've got the 2017 Jeep JK Wrangler. This is the Chief Edition. 2017, so that's a 3.6 liter V6 in gray and yellow there. And then I believe that leaves the only car that we are missing from this release is, yes, this guy right here, the 2019 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack. I was just completely unable to find those in stores or anywhere. It seems as soon as they come out of a package, they just get bought immediately. So let's work backwards, and we'll work our way up to the Ford GTs. We'll start off with the Jeeps. We haven't done any Jeeps in a while. I've lost interest in Jeeps. All right, guys, so here are our 2 2017 Jeep Wrangler JKs. As you can see, we've got the hood open to expose our very exciting 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. God, it's a terrible motor. Oh, it's a terrible motor. If you guys have been on the channel for a while, many of you may know that I used to work for a Jeep shop. We were actually the largest distributor of Clayton off-road parts on the East Coast. So we were kind of a big deal in the Jeep community, and I worked on a lot of these Jeep JK Wranglers. They're kind of at a point, we're at a point in time now where the new body style of Jeep is really expensive. The older, early 2000s, 90s model ones are getting to be classics where they're getting more expensive. People are restoring them more. And these ones are just becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper by the day, and everybody makes parts for them. So the JKs are a very, very popular platform in the off-road community right now. That being said, you know, I sold my Jeep. I kind of got out of the Jeep stuff once I started working at a new shop, but that does not mean that I escaped working on these things. I've had plenty of them in. They drive me insane. Most common things on these, the oil coolers like to spew oil all over the intake valley, where the oil filter is. It's the oil filter is actually mounted like kind of underneath the intake manifold. It's a moronic motor. And and they love to eat cam followers. They like to just destroy the valve trains. I've done a couple sets of cylinder heads, couple timing chains, a lot of oil coolers on these, couple head gaskets. They are just such a terrible engine. Like it's literally considered high mileage for these things to be at 100,000 miles. Like if you see one with 100,000 miles, like, oh wow, when did you get the engine replaced? What, like 60K? And they're like, oh yeah, no, it's about 60,000 miles. The engine took a crap on me. They are, yeah. And then the manual transmissions that they come with are probably one of the worst geared manual transmissions in the world. The throttle response is terrible. The clutch response is terrible. Somehow they managed to make a clutch respond terribly. They're just not fun to drive. But they do perform extremely well off-road. They are, as much as people will say, oh, my, piece of junk Jeep from the 90s will beat that plastic Jeep any day. No, it won't. These things are extremely capable off-road, out of the box. They will, you know, they will do nasty, nasty things right out of the box. Of course, we've got our BF Goodrich all-terrain. Those look like mud terrains on there. I'm trying to read upside down. But the tread pattern... No, yeah, that's like, it kind of looks like the mud terrain tread pattern a little bit. Very cool. So let's take a look at our other variation here. So here we have our gray one. Gray, black. I guess it's like, is it blue? It looks kind of gray. Like a really dark gray. So the Chief Edition, I'm not really sure what the Chief Edition all came with. I'm more accustomed to, you know, not really paying attention to what trim level, unless it's a Rubicon, we never really cared. Because you're just ripping stuff out of it anyway to replace it with bigger and beefier stuff anyway. The Rubicons, though, came with a front Dana 44. They were actually pretty beefy. So if you get yourself a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, they are, and they also come with axle lockers, 410 gears, all the goodies. Let's take a quick peek underneath this guy here. We'll see what our production date is, 5/18/22. And it should be the same. We'll go ahead and close our hood there. Same with the yellow one. Let's get the hood closed. 5/18/22, yes. And there is a little bit of overspray on that fender there. That looks a little yuck. And these don't have license plates on them either, do they? I don't think, did the pickup truck? Yeah, the pickup truck had the USA license plate, and then 11/30/22. So let's go ahead and take a look at our fun facts for our Jeeps here. This is, oh, we're knocking stuff over already. Everything's fine. Let's scoot that over. It says, this casting features a newly tooled Power Dome hood and standard 5-spoke wheels. The Jeep Wrangler Chief Edition pays tribute to the early 1970s version of the Jeep Cherokee Chief. I guess. The old Cherokee Chiefs were pretty nasty, though. They were certainly a mean unit. The new ones, well, like I said, they do perform well off-road, but not as robust as they once were. So for our, what was the color code for that? Paint code on the yellow one is acid yellow. And then the truck, I believe, was just black, yeah. And the paint code for the gray one is Rhino. Okay, so it is kind of like a gray. So it says, this casting features a newly tooled Power Dome hood and standard 5-spoke wheels. We already know that. All Chief editions of the Wrangler came with a white removable hard top / soft top and a white side stripe. Very exciting stuff, because nothing helps you more off-road than stripes. Anywho. Wow, we are really cutting into the time here. I guess I spent a lot of time showing you the stuff on the wall. So let's get into our next car. The 64 Pontiac Grand Prix. Grand Prix. I don't know. Alright, so it looks like both of these guys, the hoods aren't really opening too far. So we'll go ahead and shut that one. Just try and peek under there. So this is a 64 Pontiac Grand Prix. What did these have in them? 420, what, 3, 9, 7? No. I should know. I've talked about the, what did the Catalinas had? A 425 or something? Oh, I forget. I should have looked it up. My apologies. Hey, maybe it'll say it on the fender or something. Get a little cheat here. Can't quite make that out. There it says Grand Prix on that badge. Nice spoked wheels on there. Very good looking car. And of course we have the Royal license plates. I believe both cars have a Royal license plate, yes. Very, very good looking car. And of course this one is Saddle Bronze Poly is our paint code for this one before I forget about the paint codes. Go ahead and check out our red one here, and this is Sunfire Red Poly with beautiful white interior, gold steering wheel. Looks very, very good. Very cool looking car. The Pontiac Grand Prix. I believe the Grand Prix was like a slightly less sporty version of the GTO or something. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me. You have GP in the grill there. Very good looking car. Very nice. So for our version A in red here, our fun facts say the 1964 Grand Prix was the third best-selling car in the Pontiac lineup. Ace Wilson's Royal Pontiac in Royal Oak, Michigan became famous in part for its modified production cars with boosted power and performance dubbed Royal Bobcat editions. We've talked a lot about Royal Bobcats on this channel. I do have a fair collection of Royal Bobcat stuff. Our production date here, 5/18/22. So, always, always, always excited to add another Royal Bobcat to the collection. Very cool looking car. Very nice. So this is, what are you, version B? Go ahead and get the hood closed there. It says, the name Bobcat was coined by Jim Wangers, an advertising executive for the Pontiac ad agency, McManus, John, and Adams in the late 1950s. Jim Wangers, that says Wangers, not Wagner. Wangers set up a meeting at Royal Oak Pontiac to pitch Bunky Knudson's idea of promoting over-the-counter, high-performance Pontiac parts directly to customers. Ace Wilson, owner of Royal Pontiac, enthusiastically agreed. And that is the story of Royal Bobcat, or of the Royal Bobcats. Royal Pontiac. All right. Very, very nice. I'll go ahead and get those two parked up. There's everybody else over here. And keep moving into our Mustangs, the 2012 Ford Mustang GTCS in blue. And what are our paint codes? Yellow Blaze and Grabber Blue. All right. All right, so here we have our two 2012 Ford Mustang GT California Specials. I'll start off with the blue one here. Under the hood, we have what I believe in 2012 was the reintroduction of the 5-liter. Made about 420 horsepower. I could be wrong about this, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings with this, but I believe this was the first time that an entry-level Mustang GT made over 300 horsepower since the early 70s. I believe they were sub 300 horsepower for a good, quite a long time there. But yes, the reintroduction of the 5-liter, they did away with the 250 horsepower 4.6-liter and brought back introduced the 5-liter Coyote because the GM had crushed them with the Camaro in the early 2000s, and the LS3 and LS2 were absolutely crushing the 4.6 again in the late 2000s. So Ford finally had enough, and they brought their own 400 horsepower pony to the show with the 5-liter Coyote, first generation Coyote. These are the ones that had nasty, nasty piston slap when you'd start them up. And I think Ford just released a TSB about it and said, yeah, it's normal. It goes away. So, classic Ford. So we'll go ahead and, let's shut the hood on that, get a look at that with the hood closed. So on this guy here, we actually have a different stripe variation than the gold. So you've got the California Special stripe down the side, and the Cal hood is kind of highlighted with black there, whereas on the gold one, we have no stripes on the hood. However, there's a black stripe on the roof, And then again, you get the California Special stripe on the side there. The gold looks really nice too. I think both have a GTCS license plate. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the gold one here. The wheels are, yeah, but they're anatomically correct, so that is what the wheels on the 2012 Mustang look like. Sorry if I'm not, like, thrilled about this one. I'm just not crazy about these Mustangs. They just don't do it for me. I'm a Chevy guy, and this is my Camaro's biggest competitor, you know, a 2012 Mustang. I have a 2011 Camaro. Fortunately, on paper, I got them beat by about 10 horsepower. But, as many of you may know, my Camaro is not exactly stock anymore. So, not much done to it, but little things here and there that make big differences. Very, very good looking car, though. Not crazy about it, but, you know, Mustangs are cool. So, let's go ahead and take a look at our premium facts here. This is our version A in grabber blue on the left. It says GTCS stands for GT California Special with several exterior and interior trim upgrades. Under the hood, the GTCS received the all-new 5-liter dual overhead cam V8 producing 412 horsepower. And Chevy figured out how to make 10 more horsepower with push rods. Got all those, you got dual overhead cam, 4 camshafts in that engine, and that's all you could come up with? Jeez, what are you doing with all those cams? Chevy can make more power with just one. And here we have our version B facts. Says the side stripe is unique to the California Special package. It is a throwback to the original GTCS models from the 1960s. And Yellow Blaze was a new color introduced in 2012. There is our Yellow Blaze Mustang GTCS. So one last peek here, we'll see, what is our production date? 5/18/22, and should be the same for this guy, 5/18/22. I believe it should be the same for all of them, right? Because they're all part of the same, or around the same. Yeah, 5/18/22 for the Pontiac, and I believe it was the same for the Jeep too, right? Yep, 5/18. All right, next up, our two 1975 Cadillac Coupe Devilles. So we've got a nice, hello, focus please, there we go, Firethorn Poly, and goodness, Greenbrier Fire Mist Poly. There we go, jeez. All right, guys, here we go. Here are our two 1975 Cadillac Coupe Devilles. So we're going to start off with the green one here. Absolutely gorgeous car. It is enormous. As you can see, both ends are hanging, you know, well off the lift. On par with the Lincolns here. I know the Lincoln Mark 7s and Mark 8s are very close in length. Actually, I think the Caddy might be a little bit longer. You know, true 1/64th scale, so these enormous cars are going to be enormous from Cadillac. Being that it was the 70s, every car was 30 feet long, right? Really, really cool looking car. So we've got a license plate on here. What does it say? Luxury. Yes, it is a Cadillac. Very good. Very creative, I guess you could say. Really nice paint on here. I absolutely love this metal flake. Go ahead and close the hood. I believe that's Cadillac's big, massive 500 cubic inch, or probably says it on the cards over here. Yeah, it is. 8.2 liter, 500 cubic inch V8 under the hood there. Absolutely enormous. Made no power because it was the 1970s and they had to put catalytic converters on it the size of trash cans. And the compression ratios were sucked down and all kinds of, you know, emissions regulations nonsense. But I'm sure with 500 cubic inches of displacement, a set of good headers, you know, and to get rid of all the emissions crap, good set of headers, deck the heads, that thing would be making some frightening power. Some frightening torque numbers. Really, really cool car. I bet it sounded beautiful. Very, very nice. Nice white walls on there, too. Let's go ahead and check out the red one. This is our... Ooh, falling off the lift here. This is our Firethorn Poly. Again, beautiful metal flake on there. Beautiful, beautiful car. Looks like we're missing a headlight, though. Yeah, we are missing a headlight. One of my headlights didn't get painted in there. What the hell? What happened, AutoWorld? I've noticed that with a couple cars, these recent releases, the 2022 stuff. I've noticed a couple little ball droppings, you know, droppings of the ball. Some chips on the front bumper too as well. Disappointed to see that from AutoWorld. I've always been impressed with AutoWorld's quality control. Their cars have always been the best, aside from the occasional square tire. But I am very surprised to see a headlight not painted in. They painted in the trim, but they forgot to paint in the driver's side headlight on that one. That kind of sucks. I might have to do something about that with a paintbrush. I'll see what I can do. Either way, though, still like the rest of the car. The rest of the car looks good. Again, license plate says luxury. Very creative license plate. That one probably took them all night to think of that one. But either way, very good looking car. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. A comment was made about missing chrome trim on the back windows of the Impalas that we looked at in the last video. So the chrome trim on this roof, it's tough to see, but it is there. It's very, very tough to see, and I think part of the reason why it looks like it's missing is because of how thick the roof is there, maybe, but you can, there you go, you can just about make out those little trim lines there. Being on a white roof, it is tough to see, but there they are again on the black roof, much easier to see. So you can kind of make out the two stripes that go around. If you look very closely, they are there on the white and blue car, just very, very difficult to see. So figured I'd point that out and get a nice close-up of that there. Yeah. Maybe the pen was running out of ink when they painted them on. But that headlight is definitely missing. Somebody came by and must have smashed it out. Anywho, so let's get our two caddies parked up. And we'll get into our last two cars for today's video. And, yeah, probably one of my favorite cars recently released from AutoWorld. The 65 Ford GTs. I know we took a look at a 66. AutoWorld said this is a 66. Literally the same casting, though. But we took a look at that guy in one of the last videos, so let's go ahead and get our two 1965 cars opened. I'm sitting here and I just realized that we didn't read any of the facts on the card for the Cadillac. I'm sitting here opening up the Ford GTs and I go to put the card down and I see the card for the Cadillac sitting there. I was so upset about my headlight I forgot about my premium facts. It says, this is version B here, we're starting off with the red one. The 1974 to 76 Cadillac Coupe Deville is the 6th longest coupe to ever come from a major manufacturer. The 76 Cadillac Coupe Deville was a very large car weighing over 5,100 pounds, and it was 231 inches long. That is extremely big. If somebody do the math, how many feet is that? 231. That's almost, what, 20 feet? Just short of 20 feet? 120 inches would be 10 feet, so 240 inches would be 20 feet. So 231, yeah, you're just shy of 20 feet, man. That's a big car. Greenbrier Fire Mist Poly. There we go. Was a 1 year only paint color for Cadillac because nobody could say it right. The 1976 Cadillac Coupe Deville was powered, but the 1976 Cadillac Coupe Deville. Well, that's great, but we have a 1975. We have a 75, but for some reason we're talking about a 76. Was powered by a massive 500 cubic inch 8.2 liter V8 that only made 190 horsepower. Yes, that's right, because of the emissions control devices that were in place at that time, absolutely choking cars out. Also, insurance regulations were getting worse. Insurance companies were jacking up insurance rates because of high horsepower cars. You know, the more horsepower, the more you got to pay on insurance. So let's get into our Ford GTs. I've got the blue one here. Let's get the silver one opened up. And now I know I just have been calling them Ford GTs. I'm aware they are GT40s. This is a Ford GT. This came out in 2004-ish. These are GT40s. The Ford GT was a tribute to the original Ford GT40. This was a, I believe, Le Mans series racer. It was basically Ford's, competitor for, whatchamacallit, against Ferrari. There was that whole big, just go watch Ford vs. Ferrari. It's a fantastic movie. But it takes place in the 60s. Basically, the whole competition between those two manufacturers in the Le Mans racing series. You got cars like this. This thing was an absolute animal. I think, what was in this? It was a 420-something. 428, 429, I believe. No, it wasn't. Was it? Oh, no, it wasn't. Leave a comment if you know what motor was in the GT40, because it is escaping my mind right now, unless it's written on one of the cards. I haven't read the fun facts yet, but GT40 PR, two little exhausts sticking out there. Very, very cool looking car. The thing looks fast. Nice spoked wheels on there. Very cool looking. Our headlight details they appear to be, is that clear plastic? It is, yes. We have clear plastic headlight lenses. Very cool. It's probably because they're so big that they have, enough room to do something like that. Very cool looking car. Let's take a quick peek at our silver one here. This is the version A. So we started off with version B there in blue. Version A in this very, very nice silver. Oh, this is such a cool car. And it's absolutely tiny too. I'm going to put it next to... So here, I'll do this. So you guys know I'm not fibbing. There. That is the difference in size between those two cars. I could almost put another one of these in front of it. So our largest and smallest cars for today's video. Very, very cool. I love AutoWorld's attention to scale. I really do appreciate it, because a lot of manufacturers do not take that much effort or put in that much effort when it comes to keeping all of their vehicles scale. So it is nice to see that. Like, you can put those two next to each other on the shelf and it doesn't look off, So I guess that is our kind of a license plate on the back there, GT40 PR. Look at those skinny little tires. Look so goofy. Strange car, but very, very cool looking. And we should have, I believe, the same production date on these guys. Yes, 5/18/22. Interesting base there. It's kind of all flat. It is a race car. Or do we look at the Cadillacs? Cadillac's huge. 5/18/22 again, yeah. Same production date for everybody here, so we'll go ahead and start taking a look at our cards. Let's scoot. How do we have them before? Like that and like that. And then we bring the facts over here. It says, in the early 1960s, Ford was set to buy 90% stake in Ferrari when suddenly Enzo Ferrari backed out of the deal over a dispute with open-wheel race cars. The GT40 was developed in retaliation to defeat Ferrari at the famed 24 Hours of Le Mans. So there you go. That's the story. Carroll Shelby and his team took over the development of the GT40 after 1964. So I believe this was maybe Ferrari had some hands in the design of the GT40. Maybe. Is that what they're saying there? Ew, chrome gas caps. Yuck. Ew. So here we have version B in a nice metallic blue. It says, finally edging out Ferrari after 6 years, dominating 24 Hours of Le Mans, the Ford GT40 won from 1966 through 1969. The Ford GT40 was based on the mid-engine Lola Mark VI, which also used a Ford V8 engine. Which V8 engine? Leave me a comment, guys. That's the comment question for the video. Yeah, leave a comment if you know what motor was in the Ford GT40, and leave another comment if you know what motor was in the Pontiac Grand Prix Royal Bobcat. I believe that was a 420. No, what was it? A 423. I think it was a 423. I feel 90% sure that it was a 423 in these guys. But the GT40 escapes me. I'm not sure if it was a 302, a 351, a 390, 400 something, or if it was some kind of custom block altogether. But either way, let's go ahead and get these guys into the parking lot. So I'm going to have to do something a little different here because the parking garage is still full from the last few videos. So let's lay everything out. Give me one moment. Yeah, so I'm really having trouble consolidating space. So I think what we're going to do is just get a little close-up going of each of these guys here. There is our two, there we go, that's a nice angle. Our two Ford GT40s, the 65 GT40s. Our two 1975 Cadillac Coupe Devilles, even though the card told us stuff about 1976 Coupe Devilles. And my missing headlight, I am disappointed in them about that one. Can't believe that. That is our 275 Coupe Devilles. There are our two 2012 Ford Mustang GT California Specials in that nice gold and the blue. Those two colors really look great together. Like I said, I'm not crazy about Mustangs, but I mean, sitting next to each other, those colors really complement each other well. They look like a great pair. All right, so here's the 264 Pontiac Grand Prix Royal Bobcats. I'm struggling here, getting tired. Very cool cars. Absolutely love them. I'm trying to think what's going to be my favorite for the video. I think I don't know. This was an interesting series. Nothing really stood out to me other than the Ford GTs. I was very excited about them. They're very cool. And again, I would have liked to have gotten my hands on those Challengers, but never really saw much of them. So, next up, I guess I should have paused the video for that part. But these are the two 2017 Jeep Wrangler JK's Chief Editions. Yeah, little cylinder head munchers. But they're cool, you know. And lastly, I don't know, maybe this might be my favorite for the video. What am I saying about the Fords? Absolutely gorgeous. The 1983 Chevy Silverado stepside, the lowered stepside. Really, really cool truck. Very nice, dark black. Dark black as opposed to light black. Yeah, I really, really like this thing. And the wood grain in the bed in that thing is just awesome. Nice interior in there, too. All black interior. Black on black on black. I don't know, I think that one or maybe one of the Ford GTs. The blue is nice, but so is the silver. The silver looks so sharp. Beautiful. Yeah, that's my top 3. But that is everybody from today's video. I know, and like I said, the parking garage is still full. I'm going to have to find space. There, look. Now it's full. But, yeah, so as always, I'll keep you guys updated on that stuff. And be sure to stay tuned for the next video. This was a long one. Wow, I just watched that roll over to 50 minutes. But that is the end of what's new from AutoWorld. And, yeah, that's what's new from AutoWorld. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, leave a like, leave a comment. If you're still watching, I'm impressed that you're still here. And leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.